Hey friends, welcome back. It's time, whether you like it or not, for the mid-year check-in. It's actually so scary how fast time passes, and it is the middle of 2025. This tag is a booktube staple. I have been doing it every single year that I've been here. So what is that, 5 years? 5 years? It's crazy. I don't know how many questions I have. I took inspiration from Gavin, as well as many other booktubers. I think that a lot of us recently have been sort of changing tag questions because the tags have been around for like ever. And I think that a lot of us are realizing that we have free will and we can like change some of the questions because some of the original tag questions don't really apply to me. And there are other topics or conversations that I would love to tell you about. So I have changed some of the questions to sort of tailor my reading and what I want to tell you about my reading year so far and going forward. So that being said, let's get into it. The first question is, how has your reading year even been? How's it going? And it is going well. I think the trajectory of my reading year in terms of like overall happiness and vibes started out pretty high, and then around April and May, it went down. I didn't find a 5-star for over a month and a half, and I was not feeling it. But I feel like I'm on an uptick again. I feel like things are getting better. However, my average rating has really gone down. I think that my average rating in my first quarterly stats was like 4 point something, and now my average rating is 3.67, which, you know, it could be better. In the second quarter of the year, I've definitely rated more books lower, like 2 and 3, hence that reading slump that I just kind of told you about. But the overwhelming majority of books have been on the upper half of the spectrum. So, you know, silver linings, I guess. I'm obviously hoping to continue the upward trajectory that I'm feeling right now. The next question is, what is the best book that you've read so far in 2025? Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, for sure. I don't even have enough time to tell you all the things I love about this book. Truly, it is one that I will read many times. Kaveh Akbar is just such a phenomenal person, and seeing him speak this year at an author talk was one of the highlights of my year so far. This is a literary fiction about a young man struggling with addiction and his pursuit of like understanding what he's doing here and his life's work of writing about murders. He travels to New York City to see a art installation by this woman who is stopping cancer treatment and sitting in a chair as her art installation talking to people within her last days of life. And we're following him through this journey, and it is incredibly powerful and surreal, and it is so good. The next question is, what is the best sequel that you've read so far in 2025? I would say Sunrise on the Reaping, as well as Rebel Witch. I don't know why y'all hate it. I had such a good time with this duology this year. So like, I need my fellow lovers to comment down below and tell me that you also love Rebel Witch. I had a great time. And then Sunrise on the Reaping, I just, you know, it's Hunger Games rebooted. It was a joy. It was so sad, actually. It was not a joy, but like, I loved reading it. It was one of those books that you are like, wow, I love reading, you know? And this is a witch and witch hunter romantasy duology. So fun. This is a question that I added that I think everyone should be asking themselves, because at the core of it, like, this is what it's all about. What book did you have the most fun reading? I have 3. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is also my most surprising book of the year so far. I know. Why would this be a cover of a book? I don't know what to tell you, but I ate this book up and I just love it. This is another romantasy book that has fae and alchemy and fighting and things. Another book is actually Bride by Ali Hazelwood. She really did it in this book. I adore this book. I feel like the world building and the characters and the magic systems, everything was done so well, and it was fun. It was well written. I think about this book and just get happy, honestly. This is a vampire and werewolf romance, and it is. The other book, okay, this prefacing by like, I didn't have fun. This isn't a fun book, okay? But this is the first 5-star book that I had after my drought, and it was the moment where I was like, oh my god, I do actually love reading. Wow, this is what it feels like to read a good book. Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazing by Kylie Lee Baker. I think it's going to be in my top 10 of the year. I think it is. This is set in 2020 New York City. Our main character is a crime scene cleaner, and there is a string of hate crimes against Chinese women happening, and it is extremely difficult to read. It is extremely gory, but it is so good. So good. Oh, another book that I had fun reading, obviously, is going to be Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. This book is so fun. The idea is so original in that a alien invasion takes over and puts every surviving human into a like intergalactic game show where they have to like survive and descend in the world and get higher in level, and it's like an RPG main character driven story. There's a side character named Princess Donut who's a cat, and it's so fun. I have already started the second book just because it's a great audiobook experience. This next one has a lot of answers, okay? It is, what is a new release you haven't read yet but really want to? The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson is first on this list. It's on my active TBR. It's on my downstairs shelf for me to quickly grab it and get to it as soon as possible. It's the first in a new fantasy series, Dark Academia. That's all I know. I've heard great things. Frederick Bachman's new book, My Friends. I saw him at an author talk as well this year, and I just love the guy. I think that I want to read this soon because I haven't cried hard at a book in a while, and I know that he could do it. I also want to consider We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen. I loved Interesting Facts About Space, and I have heard nothing but great things about this one too, so I need to get to it soon. As well as Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. I just haven't gotten to it. I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I feel like it's a crime because I think that I'm going to love it. Next is, what is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year? I actually just did my summer release radar video, so I don't know anything past August really, but a few that have not come out yet. The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno Garcia, The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst, The Island of Last Things by Emma Slowly, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Madonna, The Possession of Alba Diaz by Isabel Kanyas. And then one more, obviously Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. I'm seeing her in an author talk this September, maybe? Wow, I'm so excited. I can't wait to read this one as well, obviously. So many good books. Oh, and then we're gonna go like really low for a second. Man, such highs and such lows. The next question is, what is the worst book you've read so far this year? Don't come for me. You're not allowed to get upset at me. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I can't stand it. I'm so sorry. And also I will toss in Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson in here as well. So much didn't work for me in both of the books, and I just don't want to spend time discussing it here. I've discussed it elsewhere. One more disappointing question is, what is the biggest disappointment of the year so far? Which is different than the worst book, because these two books I had high hopes for and I was really excited about, but they ended up not delivering. The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong was actually in my most anticipated of the year, and I have DNF'd it, and I don't know if I will pick it up again. It's a cozy like adventure fantasy, and it is just so slow. I feel like maybe if I'm ever in a cozy fantasy mood, I might try again, but I don't know. I was bored. I was so bored. And the thought of picking it up again just made me not happy. The other one is The Cabinet by Eunsu Kim. This one was just too chaotic. The central plot line was just so not tight. The ending, the last like 25 pages, I thought was the best part of the book, and even then it wasn't worth getting there. So I'm sad about it, especially because me and Caleb were both excited about this book and we both didn't like it. So, you know. You win some, you lose some. Oh, the next one is, what is the biggest surprise of the year? I already said that Quicksilver is this answer for sure, but also I want to say the Hunger Games series, because I had no plans on rereading this, and I did, and it was one of the best experiences that I have had in my adult reading life. I gained so much more from this the second time around, reading it with an adult brain and adult eyes. I love this series. I love it. The next one is, who's your favorite new author, new to you or a debut? I would definitely say Kaveh Akbar. I will read anything that he publishes now. As well as Cullian Bradley. She wrote Ministry of Time, which I absolutely loved. I really loved how she wrote this book. And I remember very vividly finishing this book, reading those last like 5 paragraphs or something, sitting in bed and being like, wow, I need to read that again. Yeah, I just really love this. I will be so excited to read more from her. The next one is, what book has made you cry so far this year? And I'm going right back to the Hunger Games series. I cried so much. I cried so much. I think specifically at the first and the third. I want to say that I did cry also at Sunrise on the Reaping, but not as much as the original trilogy. And I don't know. I don't think that I have cried at any other book. I mean, I've been bored to tears a couple times, but that doesn't count here. Yeah, I think that's it. The next question is, what is the most beautiful book that you've bought this year? 100% obsessed with this edition of Bat Eater and Other Names for Corazing by Kylie Lee Baker. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. The reverse dust jacket is the other cover, other version of the cover, and I am in love with it. And look at the naked hardback, okay? And here, wow. The end pages are so pretty and scary. Love them a lot. This was the Evernight exclusive cover, and I was so mad because I had canceled all of my book subscription boxes this year. So I paid extra for this on Pango Books, and it is what it is. I'm happy I have it. I'm just ignoring how much I spent on it. The next question is, what are the books that you need to read by the end of 2025? And I will direct you to my 25 in 2025 TBR. I've actually been doing pretty well on it. I will say some of the ones that are on there, I'm actively reading. There's Always This Year on Basketball and Ascension by Hana Fudariki, but I actually picked this one up today. Already completely in love with it. An incredible audiobook experience as well because he narrates it and his deliverance of his words are just so stunning. I'm also reading Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. So excited to be back in this like high fantasy world. I'm only 23 pages in and I put it down and I looked at Caleb and I was like, this is what fantasy is. And I truly believe that. Like, I just can't wait to continue this book. There are many other books on that list that again, check out that video. It has all 25 of them, okay? Books that are not in that video that I still want to read. Royal Assassin by Robin. Actually, this might be on that list. I think this is on that list too. Robin Hobb, Royal Assassin. Unusual Fragments. This is a collection of 5 Japanese short stories. I've read one of them so far, really liked it. And so I'm going to keep reading this. I have this like bedside for me to read one before bed every now and then. It's been a nice setup. I also really want to read The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. After I finish Unusual Fragments, this will probably take place of my bedside like before bed. Or honestly, I might do this in the morning, like read a little bit every morning and try to like put myself in a more like creative and open headspace. This is just a little nonfiction about living a creative life and like what that could look like for yourself. And I think that I could really get something out of it. All the books that I said that are like, you know, new releases that I haven't gotten to are on this list. Another one, which is a new release and I haven't gotten to yet, but I didn't mention earlier, is Friends of the Museum by Heather McGowan. It spans like one day in a museum, and I love when the time period within a book is so short. I think it's so interesting. Oh, there's another book. Oh, it's right here. Plum by Andy Anderegg. I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. It's told in second person and it says it's for fans of Ripe by Sarah Rose Etter, which I love. There are 2 more questions and then I want to do some stats because I think stats are fun. What is your favorite video that you've made so far this year? Every single year I love the like reading booktubers and your guys' best and worst books of the previous year. Those are some of my favorite videos to make. It is so much fun. I also always do reading my patrons' most mid books of the previous year, and that was super fun this year. Actually, that video like was really hard for me now that I'm thinking about it. Last year, it was super fun. I actually found like a new favorite book in last year's video. This year's video, yeah. The last vlog that I did, the swapping screen time for reading vlog, might be my favorite vlog that I've ever done. I don't know why exactly, but I just feel like my filming, speaking, and editing were all like really good in that video, and I'm really proud of it. I also really liked my last video, my library makeover video. I finally have my gallery wall, and I reorganized all my bookshelves after this massive unhaul that I did earlier in this year, which I also really like how I did that unhaul as well. It was more thoughtful. Like, we went through all of my shelves together, and then at the very end I decided what I was actually going to unhaul. So I like that unhaul, and then I really like how in my library makeover I spanned it over like a few days, like almost a whole week, and really just took my time, and how I feel about my room reflects how I feel about that video. Like it was worth taking the time, and that's kind of the era that I'm heading into. Even though I want to, you know, pump out content as much as I can, I think that I am also very much leaning towards the like quality side of things instead of just like publishing a video just to publish a video. And I feel good about that mental switch personally. And then the last one is any upcoming videos that you're excited to make. This week's video on Sunday actually is the first in a new series that I'm resurrecting from my past. It's called Bookish Roulette, and I am turning it into book series roulette. I have a spinner wheel. I have 3 spinner wheels actually for this new series, and it's going to help me either continue or DNF book series that I have started, but also there is a twist of potentially having to start new book series within the vlogs as well. So you have to see how it goes, but I'm excited for that series. This first video was a little bit chaotic, honestly, because I was trying to figure out how best to do it, but you know, chaos in itself is fun to watch sometimes, and I hope that you will enjoy it. I'm excited for that series to continue because I think spinner wheels are just so fun. But okay, the last things that I want to do very quickly is do some stats. We already did my average star rating. One stat that I really like to check out is how my books were acquired. 66% of the books that I've read so far this year have been from my own TBR. That's great. Some of those books I have like purchased within this calendar year, like new releases. But other than those books, I have read from my own TBR, which is phenomenal. 15% have been from the library. 9% I've purchased and read them immediately. 6% were gifted and 4 of them were ARCs. How I read all these books: audio physical at 65%, meaning I either had the audiobook and the physical book and I immersion read it, or I listened to it sometimes and read it sometimes. And same with Kobo audio, same exact situation. I either had it on my Kobo or audio or did both at the same time. 7% were purely audio, 5% were purely physical, and then what is that little pie? Oh, and and then one book was just Kobo. That's funny. I was like, what is that? It was Rebel Witch. I read that as an ARC. 63% of these authors were new to me and 37% were repeat authors, which I feel like that's a pretty good balance. I like that. Of these books, 56% of them were for a video or a required read for like a book club or something. 44% were mood reads. That actually is a lot more even than it was last quarter. I think last quarter it was like 70-30 or closer to that. And I think this quarter I did a really good job about just mood reading whenever I wanted to. So I'm happy with that pie being almost equal, but it does make sense to have the pie that is for videos be a little bit bigger than mood read, just because I do make content for books. And then we have the genres. Fiction actually pulled ahead with 22 books being fiction, 17 fantasy, 5 romance, 5 horror, 3 nonfiction, 2 thriller, 2 mystery, 2 sci-fi, and 1 historical. I feel like some of the fiction is shelved as fiction, but they might be like dystopian, so it could be considered sci-fi. Sometimes book genres are hard to like 100% distinguish. You know what I mean? But fiction, fantasy, horror, and I guess romance too are my most read genres, so that makes sense. I am happy with how high nonfiction is, and I'm in the middle of another nonfiction, and I am in the middle of another fantasy. So, you know, those 2 books are not accounted for yet. This graph I physically made, and the graph that Storygraph made, tells me that I've read the most fantasy. It's fantasy, literary, contemporary, romance, gay, and so on and so forth. So, you know, whoever you want to trust, go with that. I just sometimes think that literary and contemporary are too close to be distinguished against each other, so I put them together typically when I do my genre count. I have read over 21,000 pages so far this year, which I'm happy about, and I've read 59 books. That shouldn't have been the last stat that I gave you, but I have completed 59 books so far in 2025, which is great. I'm very happy about that. And I think that that's all I have for you right now. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so down below. I would really, really appreciate your support. And while you're down there, if you don't know what else to comment based on my answers to these questions, leave me the heart emoji down below in the comments. And I will see you again so soon in the next video. As always, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.